This is the World of Woocraft podcast by Lord Falconis, exploring the extremity and insanity of New Age extremism and pseudoscientific woo, one lunatic at a time.
In this video, we're going to be hearing from a woman who thinks that the eclipse has very important things that you need to know about.
Blessings, beautiful souls. Melanie Beckler here with our energy update for what is one of the most powerful cosmic events of the year, the total solar eclipse happening April 8th.
Yeah, it's really not that powerful. It's just a byproduct of the orbits of the sun and the moon. This is Melanie Beckler, an author and channel of the height and high frequencies of divine lore, here to serve in elevating the vibration of the collective consciousness on Earth. Her words, not mine, obviously.
In this video, we're going to look at 3 key things you need to know to make the most of it.
1. Get glasses. 2. Wear them. 3. Enjoy the eclipse. There! I just did your video for you in less than 10 seconds.
So the first thing is that this eclipse brings a huge reset, a massive confluence
Reset, you say. Reset, you say. The reset is happening soon. Thanks for getting that stuck in my head, especially because we're going to be doing Ralph Smart tonight.
Cosmic energy, divinely designed and aligned to support us each in coming into greater truth, greater resonance with soul.
So basically, everybody's going to wake up and realize you're full of it, because that's the only truth that I'm seeing going on here.
And moving along this accelerated timeline of awakening into what is now becoming possible for you, for us as a collective, in this journey, in this life. So the total solar eclipse happens at the point of the super new moon. This is the third and final.
She's not wrong about that. This happened during a new moon, but that also literally means nothing except the moon was invisible to us until the eclipse.
Final super new moon of the year. So supercharged new beginnings.
Really? So the problem here is that these are things that frequently happen. Solar eclipses are rare, but they happen frequent enough that you can't just simply say it's a reset or something, because following that reasoning, every time there's an eclipse, there's a reset, and they happen all the time. If it's not a lunar eclipse, it's a solar one.
And then, at the time of the eclipse, the moon comes into alignment with the sun, casting a...
No, the moon does not come in alignment with the sun. The moon gets in the way of the sun in such a way that it blocks out a chunk of a chunk of the light for the Earth. A large portion of the Earth's surface gets blocked from the sun's light during an eclipse. There is no alignment here. It's just an end result of a blockage.
Shadow on the Earth. So from our perspective on Earth, in the path of totality, there is darkness that's triggered during the day, during that moment of
yes, for about 5 minutes.
The eclipse. And all of the guidance I'm getting is do not be afraid of the darkness. Remember that...
Well, no, don't be afraid of the darkness. It only lasts for a little bit. Seriously. Totality lasted, 4 minutes and 30 seconds?
That we continue to be in this divine unfolding, this dance between light and dark, this play of duality, giving us opportunities to better know ourselves, to remember, and to uncover the truth that has always been there that we can now bring to the surface of...
You mean that the moon has always been there? Because that's pretty much the only truth that can come out of this video.
Our lives to step into the new. Because at the time of the eclipse, just like how if your phone is acting a little funny or your computer gets logged down and is acting a little bit weird,
Then you restart it. But I guess that's the point she's going to be making, isn't it?
And you turn it off, reset it. This is what's happening with this eclipse energy.
Except, once again, it's only blocking a portion of the light. I didn't see as much of the eclipse as people in Texas and Arkansas and Detroit did. Does that mean I was part of the reset? Parts of Canada and I will believe Alaska saw the eclipse. Were they part of the reset? Anything below a certain point in Mexico also probably didn't see the eclipse. Where is your reasoning on this?
The light of the sun being blocked from Earth gives us this point of reset. So that then when the light emerges from the shadow, there's this newness, this freshness of light.
Nope, it's the same old sun. It was just temporarily blocked by a phenomenon.
And energy. These divine downloads of truth.
No, I hate that. I have come to hate that word so much, downloads. And it is entirely because of people like her. When I was at Conscious Life Expo, they were constantly talking about downloads from the higher universes and all of these things when really they were just speaking in tongues. It was ridiculous.
Higher cosmic consciousness. Right now, there is more light. There's new cosmic energy pouring onto the planet that's never been seen before. And it's all here, giving us the opportunity to reset and step in to the new, the newness of who we are, what is now possible for us.
So the people who didn't see the eclipse, who weren't in a section of totality, they just keep on being their same old self in their same old world? Because you're really making no sense here when you apply that.
We close the chapter on what's happened in the past. Close the chapter, close the book. Let's start not only a new chapter, but a new book in this series of...
Hold, please. There is now an eclipse between the camera and my face, caused by my hand. Okay, I guess we're now resetting the stream. Yeah, that makes no sense either.
What it means to be alive as spiritual beings in physical form, opening this new book, this newness, where we choose and claim to express with truth and authenticity, to claim our power of awareness, to recognize what is no longer serving us, and where we're consciously choosing to set our intention to empower the highest possibilities in the journey ahead. There's a big opportunity to reset, to open to receive, and to claim this influx of cosmic light and frequency to support.
Cosmic light and frequency. Well, here's the problem with that. How are we going to accept any of that if the big frickin' moon is blocking all of that? Did you think about that?
In this, I have a brand new channeled activation for this total solar eclipse.
How convenient.
At angelactivation.com. Now, the second thing to know about this energy,
well, at least she hasn't put any like or subscribe things on like every other minute on her video.
Dance between light and dark that this eclipse brings is that it's revealing, illuminating, shining a light on the blockages, on the obstacles.
If the problem is blockages, I guess we need to get a colon cleansing or something for you. How do we cleanse the colon of the moon?
On the ego perspectives, on the limiting beliefs and patterns that are out of alignment with truth, but are being perpetuated in your life. So these are illuminating.
You mean it's the same stuff that's going on over and over again? I got news for you. As someone who has seen an eclipse in near totality back when I was like 5 or 6, that stuff's still going on, honey.
Now, these rise to the surface for us to become aware of and to claim our power of discernment to choose our course ahead, to welcome the lower energies with love, with compassion for those shadow aspects of self, and through this, welcoming them into the heart of love, where we're able to release and let go of what is out of alignment with our true self.
I'm not really sure what happened there. That was not me.
Out of harmony, and what obstacles are in the path blocking us.
The only obstacle right now for you is the void in between your ears.
From the true freedom, liberation, soul growth, awakening we seek.
How many other buzzwords can you say?
So, to claim the most of this energy, which can feel a bit intense, it's powerful to get clear about what is your yearning for in this life. What is your
Logic, reason, for people like you to realize that you're full of it?
soul yearning for in this life? We've talked about this before. What is that North Star? What's the big dream, the big vision?
The North Star is just Polaris, the star that happens to be the point closest to what we would consider north. In another 10,000 years or so, it's going to tilt towards Vega.
For what is possible for you in your life, or what you maybe don't even fully think is possible. And yet there's this glimmer, this pull, this dream. By getting clear about that, you can then recognize what's between you, where you are now, and that yearning, that which you really desire. What obstacles, distractions, blockages, challenges
Do you have to repeat the same stuff over and over again? It's getting kind of annoying.
is, and use the energy of this eclipse to become aware of those. What distractions are present? What obstacles are present? Invoking
Mostly it's your distracting hands, but go on.
the power and presence of Archangel Michael with his sword of truth to
Ooh, Archangel Michael. Now, for those of you who are new to World of Woocraft and new to New Age philosophy in general, but are atheists who are former Christians, you'll find that various Christian figures are peppered throughout New Age faith and New Age philosophy. And the Archangel Michael is one such person. There's also the Archangel Raphael and several others. Jesus, of course, is also present. He is a enlightened master in there, alongside Buddha, and I'm not sure if Muhammad counts as one of them, but I'm sure someone thinks that.
cut through blockages, distractions, and distortions, and to empower you to claim your discernment. So a distraction is only detrimental when we go into that energy. When we don't have the discernment to choose what is best for us, what is right for us, and we fall into that old patterning.
And how exactly do we decide what's best for us?
So having awareness of where we've been having a lack of discernment. And with that, we can then consciously begin to build greater discernment, to be aware of distractions and obstacles leaving our life as we cultivate greater discernment, as we cultivate presence, awareness, being aware of what is arising.
Aware. I really need to start doing word counts for these things. See how many times they say it in the transcript.
And being present with it, not suppressing it or mood altering away from it or going into distractions to keep ourselves from having to feel those uncomfortable feelings.
Wouldn't this eclipse technically be a distraction? And also, we seem to be really moving further and further away from the eclipse, which seems like a pretty common tactic when you're trying to pull stuff out of your butt.
When we go into the uncomfortable feeling, when we're present with it, when we welcome it with love, with compassion, we empower its release. We empower letting go. We claim the power of this cosmic energy, of this eclipse cycle.
Okay, finally she mentions the eclipse again. I feel like this is one of those situations where you could literally take out the word eclipse and replace it with almost any phenomenon, and it sounds like a video that she could talk about. So let's take the word eclipse out. Let's say, for example, tornado. I have to say tornado because the one thing I don't want to oh, what the hell? Or let's say earthquake. You could easily say the same stuff about earthquakes that you could about eclipse in this video, or tornadoes, or hurricanes, even though these are natural phenomenons. We can't exactly predict earthquakes or tornadoes, but we can predict hurricanes. And that's the other thing. These are things, again, that we have predicted over thousands of years ago, and we can predict thousands of years into the future. So how is this any form of reset whatsoever? If we can predict that they're going to happen. It's not like they just magically appear.
To let go and release what's no longer serving us and what's out of alignment, to come into harmony, coherence, and sync with our highest truth. And through this, open the awareness, open to greater discernment, to move on this path of our highest timeline, claiming the highest possibilities available to flow through, to be
claiming the things that require commas, because I graduated from the William Shatner School of Communication.
Created with and through you. The third thing to know about this powerful total solar eclipse is that it's up to you to choose to drop in. Claim.
Well, I guess. I mean, I could have totally taken a day or two off of work to go fly to Arkansas and see the eclipse, because I imagine that's probably where the least amount of people would be, because who the heck wants to go to Arkansas? As OA would say, Arkansas is a shithole. But I fail to see how that even applies to the situation.
The power of conscious intention to drop into stillness, activate your intention, and plant these seeds of infinite possibility in the fertile soil of this time.
Nothing in this universe is infinite. It is a very big universe, but it is finite. So to say that there is infinite power in something is an impossibility.
Now. So, get clear about that yearning, about what your intention is, and then take the time to quiet your mind, focus on your breath, drop in to gratitude, into stillness, into open.
I feel like we've almost completely lost the point here. Like, the only eclipse that's going on here is going on between the viewer and any form of reason.
Receptivity. To breathe and remember that you are so much more than physical.
Not really. You're nothing really more than just a few electronic impulses inside a meat skeleton.
Expand to the cosmic consciousness that you are a part of.
There is no cosmic consciousness. The universe doesn't give two shits about you, and never will.
To expand into the field of infinite possibility, where pure potentiality resides. Lift, expand, open, simply be present.
Up, down, left, right, BA, start.
In this place, to receive all that's available to you now.
So the universe is just like a big old grocery store or something now, huh? Well, apparently the groceries are all overpriced or something, because I don't see anything.
To cleanse and bless your energy field, to restore, to reset, to revitalize your etheric energy, and from this place to then plant the seeds of intention, remembering who you are, remembering that you are divine, remembering that
remembering what this entire video was supposed to be about anyway.
You are infinite temporarily in this physical incarnation, and use this energy to claim a quantum shift, a quantum.
I think she's hit all of the buzzwords. I think quantum was the last one. Quantum was the final one. I think that is the last one. So congratulations, you've gotten them all.
Leap, the remembrance of truth, of higher light, of spirit, expand, lift, bask in this.
Is she just gonna just fire off all of these different New Age buzzwords? Because that's what it seems like is happening here.
And then bring this light, this love, this wisdom, this expanded consciousness back into your physicality, into your life, claiming the power of the cosmic light to burn through blockages and distortions.
The only burning going on right now is the fact that it is about 72 degrees outside and it's about 85 degrees in this apartment.
And to receive the intuition about what's next for you, the steps to
What's next for me is once I finish with this video, I'm going to turn on my air conditioner.
take in this new chapter, this new beginning, this new timeline on the horizon.
This new that, and I'm going to close my eyes and wobble my head as if I'm some sort of mystic that's coming up with some sort of prediction, because that's the way I want to hypnotize you into thinking that everything I say is 100% valid. I know the game. I used to believe it.
Appearing for you now. Let's draw a card from the Ascension Angel cards. What else do we need?
So, here's the thing about cards. At some point, we're going to do a World of Woocraft about tarot, because this was something I actually used to believe in. So, but if you've never had a tarot reading before, what they essentially do is they give you some cards, and then the supposed psychic will interpret those cards as to what's going on with your current situation. They'll claim that it's some sort of intuitive ability that lets them read the cards, but really, they're just very, very good at extrapolating information based off of the cards.
Need to know about this eclipse energy. We have two cards that came up: crystals and divine light work.
Okay, so these might not be are probably not tarot cards. These are probably oracle cards, which work in a pretty similar fashion. You draw them out, and then you interpret things based off of them. It's literally no different than tarot cards, except the titles are different.
This is about remembering our nature as crystalline beings.
There is nothing crystal in our brains that I'm aware of. And if there is any crystals growing in our brains, it's probably something that you need to go to an emergency room for.
Remembering our oneness with the earth, with the crystalline grid. And through this...
The crystalline grid? I don't think I heard that correctly. It was like Crystal Ingrid or something? I've never heard of Crystal Ingrid. Is that some sort of new goddess or something?
Remembering our link with the infinite, with the expansive divine intelligence that is the truth that we're able to expand into, to bring into physicality, to cultivate and call forth coherence.
I love the repetition that she's using to cultivate and counteract the coherence. It's a good mnemonic thing that helps hypnotize the reader. I used to do it all the time with poetry. It's really fun.
And then to act in alignment with this, to be of service in the world in the way that we love and enjoy, to do our divine light work that is on one hand about clearing, elevating our state, shining with light and higher consciousness. And then...
Are we talking about light and crystals now, or I think we have completely forgotten about eclipses now. I think we're about 11 minutes and 50 seconds in. There is approximately about a minute and 30 seconds left. I think we have completely gone off a tangent into eclipse land. Sorry, OA.
And taking specific action steps in alignment with our intuition.
Intuition. Why do you have to say it like that? It sounds so weird. Intuition. Intuition. That's beyond Captain Kirk. That's where do you even get off on that?
To bring our dreams, to bring the highest possibilities for this life into reality. Remember to cut the cords. So when you recognize there are obstacles or blockages in your path, Call upon Archangel Michael. Use this sword of light to cut the cords, to cut away any and all distortion.
So yeah, we're not even talking about the Calypso anymore. We're talking about how the Archangel Michael, who is a creation of Christianity, is now somehow in New Age land, and he's going to help you cut the cords of, like, what, the internet's universe or something?
To reveal the underlying truth, to claim your power to be centered, aligned, present, and aware of when distraction arises.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious when a distraction is arising. It's how I'm watching you in this video.
And aware of your increasing discernment to not go there, to stay laser focused on your goal of what you're yearning for, of what is the highest calling for you, and one moment at a time acting in alignment with this. This is a powerful new beginning. There's so much available, so much on offer. It's just about tuning in, claiming it, opening, expanding, allowing this reset and realignment to unfold with and through you. Again, check out angelactivation.com.
No, we're not going to do that. So, here you go. The thing about Melody here is that she is so she is just so typical of other New Agers. She sees interesting event happening, takes it, and then puts it into a fill-in-the-blank generator that may or may not have been written by ChatGPT to try to wedge it into a belief about how everything is going to reset and you should channel to raise your frequencies and every other New Age buzz form there is. Because even if there hadn't been an eclipse, you could literally take this and replace it with anything else, and it would still fit for another one of her videos. In this video, we are going to hear from a popular New Age guru on his take on the solar eclipse.
Peace, infinite waters.
I swear to God, I thought he was going to say pee or penis. Why do you even start with that, Ralph? Like, I can't. Like, of all the things that you could say, and the way that you say it, too, like, I think the internet has ruined me, but, like, why would you even start like that? Like, pee, everybody pee. You could probably have come up with, like, a million different different ways that you could have said that. Okay, that was bad on my part anyway, so let me go ahead and explain. This is Ralph Smart. He has a combined degree in psychology and criminology, and apparently chose to dump the psychology part. His bio refers to himself as an alchemist, researcher, radio host, musician, graphic designer, filmmaker, and infinite being. He clearly forgot to add repetitive garbage spewer to it. I should really remind him to do so.
Diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. We're out here in the heart of nature. Let's breathe.
He's probably in his backyard.
Let's go, deep divers. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby.
Breathe!
Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration.
Raising the insanity and raising the bullshit.
Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy, I'm sending you, deep divers. There's no place I'd rather be than with.
Are these these deep divers, are they like the New Age version of hell divers? Because that would make for an incredibly hilarious game if that was the case.
The birds, bees, leaves, and trees. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out. The cat down the road is sunbathing.
And people like you should be burning in hell. Hashtag Undertale reference.
And shout out to all of you deep divers. First and foremost, make sure you join the new Ralph Smart Patreon for all new exclusive content.
And give him money so he can keep spewing bullshit.
That's going to help you become your greatest version. Click the link down below. So deep divers, solar eclipse.
So his audience he refers to as his deep divers because they're diving deep into mysteries, into the Matrix, into illusions, into whatever the heck it is Ralph Smart wants to talk about in his movies.
Yes. What does it mean? Let's talk about the April 8th monumental solar eclipse.
You realize odds are Ralph Smart, John Hagee, and Melanie would not even be talking about the eclipse if it wasn't occurring in and around the United States. They probably wouldn't care because they know that their audience is extremely Americentric. So if an eclipse were to happen in, say, the middle of nowhere in Africa, they're not going to care. If an eclipse happens over some unoccupied part of Russia, they're not going to care. But it's happening over America. So, of course, it gets all of their focus.
Now, deep divers, listen. This information right here is going to change your entire life.
I seriously doubt that, Ralph.
It's going to blow your mind. It's going to rock you out of your chair. The cat down the road is pulling up with his popcorn.
What? I've never heard that expression before. Although, honestly, the feral cats in my apartment, I'm sure they would love to see someone's head explode.
About to share with you some jewels and some gems about what's really happening in the world right now. And it's linked to April 8th, the solar eclipse. So what I want you to do right now is to hit that like button.
And then hit your head on your desk enough times to cause a traumatic brain injury, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to accept anything that comes out of the rest of this video.
If you support the real. I want everyone right now to hit that like button if you support the real, because we got a whole lot to talk about.
Oh, please no.
First and foremost, if you are watching this video, this is...
How many ads do you think Ralph Smart can include in the course of a minute for himself? We have 2 already.
Your confirmation, your blessings will triple. Just say thank you. Now, deep divers.
Yeah, that never happens, Ralph. But he doesn't want you to know that.
Deep divers, are you excited or are you excited?
What's the difference?
Because of the solar eclipse, right?
No.
A lot of people have been messaging me. They're like, Ralph, please talk about the solar eclipse, April 8th. Like, what is the significance?
I love how he keeps signifying the date. April 8th. April 8th. Solar eclipse. April 8th. Just to make that very clear in case there's transcripts that make it more searchable for him. That's pretty smart on his side. Get it? Because his last name is Smart.
Of it? What's the symbolism? What's the symbolism of it? What does it really mean? What can we expect on the earth?
The same old shit that we've been doing every day, Ralph, except for roughly about 10 to 15 minutes, everybody is going to stop, gawk at the sun, and go ooh and ah, hopefully with eclipse glasses on. And then once the eclipse is done, they're going to go on their way as if nothing happened.
Okay. Now, are you ready for this, deep divers?
Probably not.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Good, end the video. Spoiler alert, he did not end the video.
Deep divers, you know why I'm not ready? Because we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Actually, no. I am ready. Because I breathed in that good ass prana. Okay.
Good ass prana.
Okay, deep divers, let's talk about the solar eclipse, April 8th. Now, what is a solar eclipse? So, a solar eclipse is basically when the moon passes in between the earth and the sun, blocking the face of the sun and basically making the sky all dark.
Mother of God. He actually said a valid fact in his video. Alexa, what is the current temperature of hell? I don't actually have Alexa in here. But, like, I think that's going to probably be the only valid fact that this guy says in this entire video.
For a brief period of time, the cat down the road gets a little bit scared when it's a solar eclipse. Now, deep dive.
Well, yeah, I imagine most animals do. They don't understand anything about eclipses because they don't know. They don't know how to predict them. They don't understand them. It's kind of like how humans experienced eclipse thousands of years ago when they didn't know better.
This is a rare event because the next one is in 2033.
You mean the next eclipse that's going to happen in the US?
March 30th, right? So another one is years away. So we got to enjoy this one. Now, first and foremost, have you seen what's been happening in the news, deep divers?
Nothing that much that happens in any other part of history. I mean, yeah, there's wars going on, but there's always a war going on.
Oh yeah, I remembered. You don't watch the news, but pay attention.
That is extremely scary if his audience doesn't watch the news. I mean, you shouldn't have your eyes glued to the news channels, but you should stay relatively informed as to current events.
Because there was just a massive earthquake in Taiwan, okay?
Okay, here we go. We're going to see how Ralph Smart connects the earthquake in Taiwan to this eclipse, which happened both of which have happened in completely different parts of the world.
0.5 massive earthquake. Okay, people lost lives, and we have to really send some
I love also that he's not talking about the earthquake in New Jersey.
Good energy to people in Taiwan. But this is all linked to the solar eclipse. I'm going to explain.
Oh, God. I almost don't want him to, but I want to see how the hell he pulls this out of his arse.
Also, Japan is on tsunami warning. So, once again...
Well, I would imagine if an earthquake happens in Taiwan, Taiwan is kind of close to Japan, so of course they'd go on a tsunami warning. Do you not understand how earthquakes work in that part of the world, Ralph?
And remind yourself, deep divers, there are no such things as accidents or coincidences in the universe. Everything is happening for a reason.
Not really. And I don't think you really want me to go down that deep dive of a rabbit hole, Ralph, because I could really tear into you and your history.
Storms are brewing. Animals acting strange.
Where? Where is this happening?
What's going on? It's got everything to do with this solar eclipse. Now, pay attention, deep divers. When you remind yourself, a lot of strange things have been happening on the planet right now.
Like?
Baltimore.
Baltimore! Yes, Baltimore is a strange event. Baltimore is a weird thing that's going on in the world right now. It's the weirdest thing happening right now. The one thing that scientists are baffled by is Baltimore.
Okay, you had a boat. Massive ass boat. Ship, really, right? Went straight into a bridge in Baltimore, right?
Which more than likely happened because of pilot error, Ralph. Do you not understand pilot error? It's kind of like idiot error, which is what you're being an example of right now.
Knocking down that bridge. And you're like, oh my gosh, couldn't that have been prevented?
Yes, in several ways probably. But it happened. There's accidents that happen all the time. Planes crash, boats crash. A lot of it could be prevented, but despite everything, they still happen. There's not some weird conspiracy going on here. It's just something that happened because of a serious fault.
Couldn't that have been prevented, deep divers? Apparently not. It's like the GPS went down. What's going on?
So okay, dude, are you seriously inferring that that cargo ship accident was supposed to happen? Because I don't think you want to go down that road with me, dude.
Strange things are happening, deep divers. Well,
And where was Ralph when the boat had the accident in the Sudan? I think it was the Sudan, right? And that clogged up traffic for a long period of time. I don't remember him making a comment about that.
Week, a lot of people don't know about this information, deep divers. Last week, Earth was hit by radiation from a rare double X-class solar flare. Okay?
Let me verify that, because nothing that comes out of this mouth should be taken with 100%. Earth solar flare, April. So yes, there is some Okay, hang on. So it looks like there is some solar flaring going on right now. But again, this really isn't affecting too much. It's not like an EMP, but it's not like a supermassive solar flare, which could potentially screw up our electrical grid. It's just something that normally happens. Solar flares happen all the time.
Triggering, listen, the most powerful geomagnetic storm in 6 years.
Let's take a look at that. Geomagnetic storm, April 2024. Let's see here. So there was a solar storm between March 23 and 2024, which ejected an X-class solar flare toward Earth. So I'm reading it from the NOAA's website. Geomagnetic storms, or solar storms, disrupt Earth's magnetic field and can potentially affect power grids on Earth, as well as radio signals and communication systems. They can also affect our satellite operations and GPS navigation capabilities. They categorize geomagnetic storms as a scale ranging from G1 to G5. A G5 is the most extreme level, can result in high-frequency radio blackouts across the sunlit side of the Earth, lasting for several hours. So geomagnetic storms level G1 through G4 had been reached, and that auroras might be seen as far south as Alabama to northern California, with power grid irregularities occurring in Canada. Now let's see here. Geomagnetic storms of the type that arrived Sunday can hit Earth a few times a year. We are close to the predicted maximum of solar cycle 25, and in December, the biggest solar flare in years disrupted radio communications. During solar minimum, a few years may pass between storms. So really, this is just the same stuff that happens all the time, Ralph. There's nothing significant about solar flares. And what does any of this have to do with eclipses?
Let me repeat that.
Please don't.
Last week, scientists observed that Earth was hit with radiation,
which was probably blocked by our atmosphere and the ionosphere and the magnetic fields. Again, this happens all the time, Ralph. There is nothing unique about this.
Okay, from a rare double X-class solar flare triggering the most powerful geomagnetic storm we've seen in the last 6 years.
Which did very little except bug out communications for a little bit.
So you have to remind yourself, deep divers, it's getting crazy right now. And the solar eclipse,
I love that he has to have the visual play up as he talks about the eclipse.
Seeing is that there are going to be solar flares all over the place.
There's always solar flares, Ralph. What do you not get about that? This is a common phenomenon.
Earth is going to be hit by radiation.
It's constantly hit by radiation.
Okay, why is this important? Because you see, all of your technology runs on these magnetic fields. And you've got to remind yourself that there's something called a cycle of the sun, right?
Yeah, I read about that in the NOAA article.
And it's an 11-year cycle of the sun. And we are actually reaching what we call the solar maximum, right?
I mean, that is true. We are kind of near the solar maximum, but again, it's all stuff that's still really not that affecting us. And in a little bit of time, we'll be back at solar minimum. And Ralph will probably be making some BS about the solar minimum.
Right now, that's the reason why you're having these solar flares, and it's going to peak with that solar eclipse. So be aware of your phone. It might lose signal. Wait a second.
And it can happen, but usually it's only temporarily.
There's no Wi-Fi out here, deep divers, but I swear there's a better connection. Slow motion this side.
I hate that he does that.
Now, there was a Netflix film, right? Leave the World Behind. They were telling you what happened in that film, deep divers. Yeah, the boat just stopped on the beach. Wait a second, let's connect the dots. What happened in Baltimore?
A boat crashed. That's all that happened, Ralph. But of course, you're going to take that and extrapolate it into a whole bunch of nonsense so that you can twist it into whatever narrative you want to do for this eclipse that happened on Monday. Which, again, turned out to be nothing other than some entertainment for a few minutes.
Boat crashed into the bridge. It's like the GPS went down. In that film, Leave the World Behind, you had Teslas crashing into each other. And you also had...
I've never read this, I've never watched this movie, but from his description, it basically sounds like an anti-technologist's wet dream.
Internet blackouts. Now, with the solar eclipse, you are going to have increased...
Come on, dude, spit the damn thing out.
Solar activity.
No. In fact, you're going to have less solar activity in the area of totality of the eclipse anyway. Places outside of the eclipse are going to get the same old sun.
Intense magnetic fields, solar flares, right? So
that's all going to, even if it does happen, that stuff would have happened eclipse or no eclipse. There's no significance between solar flares and eclipses.
Be aware, deep divers, that April 8th and a few days after, don't be surprised if you see technology failing. Don't be surprised if the internet goes down.
I mean, the internet always goes down sometimes. I don't live in a good area for the internet. I don't live in my cell phone doesn't get reception all the time, but that's not because of the eclipse. That's just because I live in a fairly mountainous area.
Don't be surprised if your mobile network goes down, because...
What did I literally just say, Ralph?
This is what happens with high solar activity and solar flares. Now,
he's not wrong, but again, he's taking this fact and he's twisting it to fit his narrative, which is a common tactic for people like him.
What does the solar eclipse really represent? Let me also give you this news, deep divers. Now, this is some tragic news, right? So, going from an earthquake in Taiwan, 7.5 on the Richter scale, okay, the biggest earthquake in Taiwan in the last 25 years. That's crazy, right? The solar flares, okay, the solar eclipse. In California, there was a 15-year-old girl, and really so tragic. She was kidnapped and she was running towards the police. This was recently. And the police shot her because they thought she was a suspect.
What does that have to do with the eclipse, Ralph? It is a tragic thing. And the fact that you're taking this tragic event and applying it to somehow fit your narrative is a spit in the face to this poor girl's memory.
This is symbolic because there's a miscommunication, right? And this has got everything to do with these intense energies on the planet, right?
So when the police shoot someone who's actually innocent and there isn't an eclipse, how does that fit into your narrative, Ralph?
Now, also in Gaza, there were 4 people walking, right? Palestinians walking, and they were just bombed by the IDF. Because maybe they thought they were terrorists or Hamas or whatever. Miscommunication.
We're not going to get into that, but you're full of shit on that, Ralph.
This is all symbolic of the solar eclipse energy that's hitting planet Earth right now.
No, 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 no. Absolutely not. These are all unfortunate events that would have happened with or without an eclipse or an earthquake. You are extrapolating things that happen and twisting them into your eclipse narrative.
Now, what is the true significance of a solar eclipse? Now,
Nothing.
the ancients, all around the world, many ancient civilizations viewed a solar eclipse as the gods being angry with humans on Earth. You know why?
That is correct. A lot of ancient civilizations did think that. For example, the ancient Greeks. However, there are many other tribes that think other things. For example, that the sun was leaving them, so they needed to cheer at them in order to bring it back. There was also a tribe that believed that the sun went out during an eclipse, and so they would get arrows full of fire, and they would fire them at the sun in order to relight it. But again, he's going to take this and turn it into something that means it's actually happening.
Why? Because there was darkness for a brief period of time. It signified
That people didn't know when an eclipse was at the time.
the gods being angry and also their impending departure.
Oh no, I think we've gone full circle. We're going back to the Christian nutcase that I covered at the beginning of this episode.
You're on your own, humans. Oh no! Now don't get it twisted, deep divers. In
Any more twisted than he wants you to be, anyway.
many civilizations, the eclipse, and the word eclipse, the solar eclipse, right? The word eclipse emanates from the Greek eclipsis, which means to fail to appear or to abandon an accustomed place, right? So
He's not wrong about the abandoned part. I don't know about the rest of that of that translation though. But but that's ancient Greek. Everyone had a whole bunch of different terms for eclipses when they happened. You can't just rely on something Western for that.
it was also celebrated. You know why? Because the solar eclipse is all about the moon stealing the show.
What?
Okay, let me repeat that.
Please don't.
You think the solar eclipse is about the sun?
It kind of is, Ralph. Without the sun, there would be no eclipse.
No. The solar eclipse is about the moon. The moon is stealing the show. The moon is going in between the earth and the sun to say,
Are you implying that the moon is some sentient being that just decides I'm gonna get in the way of the sun? Because that is absolutely not how it works, dude.
hey, watch out, right? So you're going to realize that the moon is stealing the show. And
Then what do you call lunar eclipses, Ralph?
it's all about you having this time for introspection. This is really what we have to do to prepare ourselves for the solar eclipse and what's going to come after that, okay?
What's gonna come after that is the same stuff that has come before and after. We're gonna keep on going as if nothing happened. Just like what's literally happening right now.
We have to take this time to heal ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, to realize that the moon blocking the sun's face is all about the shadow work that human beings have to do on the planet.
No, it's just when the sun gets in the way of the sun, when the moon gets in the way of the sun at a certain position that blocks it out for a part of the world. Nothing else, Ralph.
Slow motion
Stop doing that.
this side. It's symbolic of doing the shadow work, because without the shadow work, you can never actually really know who you are. The
Shadow work is a concept that was founded by Carl Jung at the beginning of the idea of the creation of psychology. it is not utilized by any competent psychologists these days. However, New Agers like Ralph Smart have taken parts work and shadow work and ran with it. Teal Swan likes to use it too.
Shadow work is about embracing the darker aspects of yourself. So when it goes dark on the solar eclipse, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the dark. Realize you have to integrate the darkness. And this
So when things go dark, you should go dark. Come on, Ralph, be better than that.
is how we do the shadow work. And this is what the solar eclipse represents, right? So also the sun, moon, earth. That's the Trinity. That's
Long ago, these nations lived in harmony. Sorry.
the number 3. What?
Stop doing that.
Slow motion this side. It signifies and represents symbolically cosmic balance. The alignment. It's a cosmic alignment. And it's encouraging us, deep divers. The universe is encouraging us to move back into alignment with body, mind, and soul.
How does that relate to anything?
So the eclipse, the solar eclipse, is all about the cosmic balance. Okay, everything is in balance, in alignment.
I don't think so. The universe itself is chaos.
It's also showing us that we have to create that. We've got to create that within ourselves. Make sure you're getting your ass into the heart of nature, doing a little samba, baby, raising the frequency.
Please don't say raise anymore.
Okay, leave your bedroom, right?
I literally leave my apartment every day. I drive for a little bit, and I see nature outside. I saw nature during the eclipse. It kind of dimmed the sky, but not really.
And get into alignment with who you really are.
I hate that term. Who you really are. New Agers and life coaches love it. Who you really are. And because oddly enough, who you really are, according to people like Ralph Smart and Teal Swan, seems to conveniently be what they think you should be.
The solar eclipse is also about transformation, okay? It's about metamorphosis. It's about this change that's happening, okay?
What change? And in case you're wondering how much spewage he can do about something that has been a naturally observed phenomenon for thousands of years, we got about 12 minutes left in this video.
It's also about a rare event that's happening. It's encouraging us to say, hey, pay attention to the moon.
Yes, we do. For a few minutes, and then we go on with our business.
The sun, the stars, and the solar eclipse is so beautiful. You know why? Because you're going to see the corona. The corona is the outer part of the sun.
Oh my god, he said another actual fact. This is amazing, Ralph. I think this is a record for you personally. Can we do a third actual fact? Let's find out.
And you're going to see that April 8th. It's already here. You're going to see it. And you're going to be saying, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Now, if you're in...
Only if you're in the path of totality, which, as someone who was living in Los Angeles, I wasn't.
America, you're going to see the eclipse. In Mexico, it's going to be fantastic. And pay attention to the corona. You're also... Not the virus, deep divers. Don't pay attention to that. Listen.
Yeah, he's a COVID denier.
The solar eclipse is a wake-up call for humanity.
No, it's not.
It's about realizing that we are governed by everything around us. Do you think having earthquakes in Turkey and Morocco and now Taiwan, 7.5 on the Richter scale, is by accident? No, it's because Earth is talking to us. Mother Nature is talking to us. Gaia is talking to us.
No, Mother Earth is not saying a word. How could she? Even if Mother Earth was a real thing, it's the moon that's doing it, not Earth. Where are you getting at with this, Ralph?
The universe is talking to us to say, hey, human beings, stop the wars. Wake up and start respecting your mother Gaia. Let's get right with the planet. We are destroying the Amazon rainforest.
True.
Millions
That's the fourth one. I'm impressed, Ralph.
of species have been wiped off the face of the planet.
Also true. 5. You're on a roll tonight, Ralph.
and the Amazon rainforest is being destroyed. Human beings have to do better.
But how does any of that have to do with the eclipse? Which, again, was happening before humans decided to destroy the rainforest.
This is what this solar eclipse is all about. It's about waking your ass up to say, wait a second, everything is connected.
And what about the eclipse that happened in the 90s, in 1997? What about the eclipses that happened in other parts of the world, Ralph? Why don't you ever talk about those? Why does it got to be the one that happens in the Americas? Why has it got to be that one specifically?
The solar eclipse is going to have a big effect of what's happening on the planet.
Absolutely won't. And didn't.
Told you that film Leave the World Behind was telling you what was coming. Is called predictive programming. They're telling you there are going to be cyber attacks. No, what is actually going to happen is the solar flares, the activity from
in a worst case scenario that could actually happen, but it would have to happen. So much crap would have to go wrong for it to happen.
From the sun, as it's reaching its solar maximum, is going to disrupt the magnetic fields on Earth, causing the internet to go out. We've already seen Facebook go down, Instagram go down. You're going to see more of that after April 8th and maybe on April 8th too.
And to the best of my knowledge, that did not happen, at least on a widespread basis.
So you better wake up and smell the coffee to realize that we aren't alone. We're governed by the forces around us. This is what the ancients knew, and this is why they held the solar eclipse as something sacred. Also,
well, yeah, because it's something that rarely ever happened. If you knew something happened on a rare occasion and you knew nothing about it, you'd probably consider it something to behold and to be sacred about.
It is a time, also, deep divers, it's a time to go within. You know, so many people are caught always focusing on what's happening out there. The solar eclipse is all about us paying attention to our own inner self-development.
The solar eclipse is about 12 minutes of just watching a cool phenomenon and then getting on with your life and nothing else beyond your twisting narrative.
And evolution to say, actually, how can I become my greatest version today?
And now we know he's full of it. Evolution does not involve an advancement. It involves adaptation.
Let me take a look within, because when the Earth goes dark with a solar eclipse, you're going to have to find the light inside. What? Slow motion this.
God damn, enough of that. And no, you're not going to find the light inside. There's plenty of light that's going to happen, and you're only in the path of totality for roughly 5 minutes. So I guess for 5 minutes you have to be your own light. How do you even light yourself out without fire? And please don't light yourself on fire. That would be bad.
Side. So the solar eclipse represents finding the inner light. Let me repeat that. Woo! The solar eclipse represents finding your inner light in a dark world.
Where does he come up with this stuff? I really want to know.
The world has been plagued with darkness. You've seen what's happened in Russia. Okay, what happened in Moscow, the shooting in the concert.
What does that have anything to do with the eclipse?
See the anarchy in the...
He's literally just citing all of the recent events that have happened in the last month or so, and then saying, eclipse. As if the eclipse somehow had a link to it all. Newsflash, Ralph. Those things happened, and they do happen. Eclipse or no eclipse. There is no link between the two.
World between Israel and Palestine, Russia and Ukraine, what's going on in the Congo, all around the world is in chaos. And that's...
Well, yeah, the world is always in chaos, Ralph. Welcome to life.
Solar eclipse is going to remind us to say, actually, we got to find the light.
That would only be true if it blocked out the light for everybody. But it doesn't. It only blocks out a certain chunk of the world, Ralph. Why don't you understand that?
And it's also a time to stop. Okay, because the solar eclipse is going to stop everything. You're going to look up and say, oh my gosh, what's that?
Only if you're in the path of totality, and that's just because people choose to. If you were at some place where the eclipse wasn't happening, your life is going to keep on going. Maybe you watch it on YouTube or something, but it's not going to stop you.
That's so amazing, right? It's forcing us to slow down to say, actually, this universe is so beautiful. This world is so beautiful. You know, once upon a time in ancient Greece and ancient Egypt, they would have rituals with solar eclipses, right? They would perform rituals and they would have celebrations and dance and sing. And
Well, because it was a rare thing to behold.
people are going to be doing that in Stonehenge and in Joshua Tree in the United States, in California, and all of that. And we've got to do that again to remind ourselves that
The solar eclipse is a natural phenomenon that happens on a rare but regular basis.
it's a wonderful time to be alive. You know why? Because the hidden is coming to light.
How many things are going to come? How many things are going to happen? If he says something about the reset happening soon, I'm going to lose my shit.
After the darkness, the solar eclipse, you will have the resurrection, okay?
Oh god, please tell me we really are going back to Christian baloney.
And also, the solar eclipse is about realizing in our darkest moments, we become illuminated. So don't fear the
So, we don't have to go looking for our inner light, we're going to be our inner light. Is that what's going on here, Ralph? Because you're kind of contradicting yourself.
darkness. Do not fear the darkness. Don't fear the darkness, deep divers. Don't be afraid of the dark. Realize in our darkest moments, we become illuminated. So when it's really dark with a solar eclipse, make sure you become illuminated, become the alchemist, transform the energy, and
For 4 minutes and 30 seconds, be the alchemist. There you go, Ralph.
remind yourself that Earth is alive. Mother Nature is alive. And we have
True, and they have nothing to do with eclipses other than the fact that we get to be the theater for them.
broken the laws of the divine. We've broken the laws of the universe, and we are getting our ass whooped.
No. Well, I mean, we're fucking around on Earth and we're gonna find out, but eclipses have nothing to do with that fact.
And it's going to be ugly if we don't wake up and get into alignment. We've got to remind ourselves the solar eclipse is all about reminding us that everything is in alignment. There are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. Everything.
But then why are you even talking then? Because if there are no accidents, then it's already been predetermined that humans are going to screw themselves over. It's already been predetermined that this reset that you talked about is happening soon. Everything is going to be predicted or has been predicted already. This is also where New Agers get a lot of their inspiration from Calvinism, because Calvinism also believed in predeterminism. And Calvinism arguably spurred things like the law of attraction. All because of Calvinism. This is literally Calvinism with a non-Christian perspective.
Think is happening for a reason, and the solar eclipse is going to affect the wind. It's going to affect the radio waves.
Possibly, but that's not related to the eclipse.
It's going to affect the animals. Don't be surprised if you see the cat down the road doing cartwheels, birds flying all over the place, right?
Well, yeah, because they don't understand what's going on, Ralph. Not because of some weird phenomenon thing involving shadows and light and all of that. Eclipses are weird and they don't understand it, so of course they're going to freak out.
It's going to affect the temperature. It's going to get cold, right? So you have
Maybe for like a minute, but not really.
to be prepared for what's coming. But the big takeaway is to realize that the solar eclipse, you're having these solar flares, right? Earth was hit by radiation from a double X-class
Yes, you said that already.
solar flare, triggering the most powerful geomagnetic storm we've seen in the last 6 years.
I know, you literally said that at the very beginning of this video, and now you're saying it again. Stop repeating things.
And it's not over. So you're going to see increased solar flare activity. So it's a message to remind us we shouldn't get so addicted to these devices and instead embrace the real secret, which is nature, to heal ourselves and come together as one.
How are you even extrapolating that from a natural event that we knew was going to happen, Ralph?
We've got to remind ourselves we're in a time right now where a lot of people are divided through race, religion, nationality. This solar eclipse is reminding us that all of these are illusions. Your race, your nationality,
Only because of your narrative, Ralph. This eclipse would happen whether humans were around or not.
Remind yourself, we are one people and it's one humanity and everything is connected, because that solar eclipse is going to affect wherever you are. You're going to feel the energy. You are going to feel the energy.
No, you're not going to feel it everywhere. If you were on the other side of the planet and you were asleep because it was dark outside, you're not going to experience anything.
Deep divers. And also, symbolically, there's a lifting of the veil with this solar eclipse, right? There's a
How many random metaphors are you going to use in your video, Ralph? I've lost count.
lifting of the veil with this solar eclipse. I told you, they brought down Epstein, right?
That was years ago, Ralph. And it was not during an eclipse when they arrested Epstein.
Child trafficking, all of that. Now they came after Diddy. You're going to see more people in high places.
He's literally just taking random stuff and random actions and twisting them into a narrative again.
In the Matrix, be exposed for who they really are with this solar eclipse energy. The hiddenness coming to light. And it's a wonderful...
Like, he's also kind of going on a borderline QAnon kind of thing. Like, I don't know if Ralph Smart is a QAnoner, but that is definitely the kind of rhetoric that they spew.
Time to be alive. Woo! Deep divers. Now, I want everyone to hit that like button if you support the real. Once again, hit that like button if you support the real, deep divers.
Nobody's liking this here, Ralph.
Share this video, subscribe. Also, make sure you join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Click the link down below. And the solar eclipse, most of all, is reminding us to let love guide us and not fear. We shouldn't be afraid of the dark. We should not be afraid of the dark. We should embrace it and realize that after the storm comes the calm. After the dark comes the light. So remind
Usually yes, but what does that have to do with the eclipse?
yourself that it's a time to really pay attention to what's happening inside of you, that you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. What's happening inside of you is what's going to happen out there. If you are always stressed out, full of anger, frustration, that's what you're going to experience in the world. As above, so below, as within, so without.
Yeah, no. I love how you slipped that one right by me. No, that is law of attraction bullshit. You are not slipping that by me. That is victim blaming right here. You're literally taking your entire belief system and flipping it around the eclipse. This is all just a shill for the eclipse. We are no better than Greg Locke talking about the eclipse being a sign of God here. It's literally the same thing. You take a naturally occurring phenomenon, and you take your narrative, and you apply it, and all of a sudden, you've got content.
If we remind ourselves, deep divers, as we change internally, we also change our external reality. This is what this solar eclipse is all about, reminding us
I thought your eclipse was about several other things that you referenced in the last 23 minutes.
that we are gods and goddesses in amnesia, and it's time to wake up to your true power. Have we got that clear, deep divers? Oh, yeah.
No, because you're never clear, Ralph.
Yeah. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello?
No.
Beautiful, deep divers. Let's breathe.
Let's not. Well, actually, yes.
One
we
more
should
time.
breathe, but not like that.
Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Now I want everyone to go and check out the #1 best-selling book, Deep Divers, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon.
No, we're not
And
doing that.
Smart on Amazon. And at Ralph, the book, this version. Feel Alive Part 2 is coming out. You're going to love it.
I'm sure
Deep
it won't.
divers, go and check out the latest new book.
My God,
The Book of
dude.
1111 Infinite Quotes by
Good. Stop.
the good ass prana shirts. Deep dive. You want to model?
God,
Well,
another
go and
ad.
buy some. Deep divers. Also, if you're not. Also, if you want a one-to-one consultation with Ralph Smart to help you become your greatest version, make sure you book it at ralphsmart.com/consultations.
Oh, sweet Jesus. He does one-on-one consultations. I've got to see this. Let's go look. How much does this motherfucker charge for a consultation? Here we go. Book a private session now. Book a private one-to-one session with Ralph Smart and become your greatest version. Session price. Anyone want to take a guess? Go ahead and guess, because he put the amount in pounds, so I have to translate it over to dollars really quick. All right. Are you all ready to get to answer? If you answered approximately $941 per hour, you would be right. He charges 750 pounds, which at the time of this stream is approximately $940.99, rounded to the nearest whole dollar is $941 an hour. $941 for 1 hour of Ralph Smart telling you puerile nonsense that may or may not appeal to your narrative, and will probably be stuff that is entirely out of his arse.
Now, deep divers, they tried to bury us.
Probably because you're full of BS.
They forgot we were seeds. Let's really welcome in this solar
Parasitic weed.
eclipse energy, this solar eclipse, because it's a powerful time to be alive. The solar eclipse is all about introspection, shadow work, realizing that when the darkness comes, don't be afraid. Embrace it. And
Because it'll be over quick. Seriously, it only takes like 5 minutes for it to exit totality.
also remind yourself right now on the planet, we've got to do better. Humanity has to wake up from the matrix and be free.
Here's the Matrix that he loves so much. He was waiting all the way to the end to say it. He's not wrong about us having to do better to protect the Earth, but the eclipse has absolutely nothing to do about that. The eclipse would happen whether we were taking care of the planet or not, or even if humans were on the planet or not. The eclipse would still happen.
If you're ready for that, deep divers, just say, yippee!
Sorry, I had to.
Fantastic. Deep divers, what's up? Peace. Infinite
Please don't ever do that again.
waters diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You! Once again, deep divers, make sure you hit that.
Yep, nope, we're done with that. You don't get that you don't get any further attention from me. So there you have it. Ralph Smart saying not very smart things about the eclipse. He is literally the iconic typical New Ager. He takes actual facts about what's going on in the world, real events, and scientific facts about events like the eclipse, and twists them, purees them, and blends them in a way to make it sound like something mystical and magical that conveniently enough fits his narrative. A typical New Age bullshitter, spewing nothing but bullshit.
Thank you for listening to the World of Woocraft podcast. If you like my work, you can subscribe to my Patreon, as well as my YouTube and Twitch accounts. Google Lord Falconis and you'll find me. You can also share my content and help put an end to predatory New Age scams and pseudoscientific extremism. Sic semper charlatani. Until next time.